A few years ago, when I was building my primary Plex media server known as Zeus, I reached out to Noctua with a little bit of a problem. I said, look guys, my server is super loud. It is not built for regular fans, but I'm going to customize a little cooling plate. So instead of using the small, tiny, high flow fans that was included with Zeus, I wanted to use 3 Noctua 140mm fans. And they agreed to sponsor me with 3 of those fans, drastically reducing the overall noise of Zeus. Well, it's the end of 2019 and I am building a brand new, primarily a Plex media server called Loki. And once again, I am stuck with the problem of having the server be way too loud. But the great thing here is that the new server takes standard 120mm fans without any kind of modifications. So when I reached out to Noctua again, told them I had the same exact problem with the new build, they agreed to help me out again. So in today's video, we're gonna find out just how much quieter my new server can be with a set of Noctua fans. What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits. Big shout out to Noctua for stepping up to the plate again, sponsoring this new build and helping me tame the beast. Now I have never had the illusion that servers should be quiet. I know that they're meant to run in like data centers or dedicated server rooms and they're just noisy. That's just the way they are. Some are quieter than others, but for the most part, they're not built for being silent, which is all fine and good unless you're somebody like me who wants to stick it in his basement like 20 feet away from his studio and you just cannot have loud servers going off in the background all the time. And that is where Noctua has hooked me up again today with 6, count that, 6 Noctua 120mm fans. Now these are the PWM version NF-A12x25. Because they're PWM, the speed can automatically be controlled by the motherboard. And of course, because they're Noctua, they're gonna perform better than most fans and they're gonna be a lot quieter while they do it. Now, as I mentioned before, Loki does take just standard 120mm fans. They automatically snap right into the server without any need for any kind of modifications. Basically, this is a direct replacement of the fans and I don't have to cut or maim anything to get it done, which is amazing. I'm not saying I didn't want to cut anything up, but I prefer not to take a Dremel to my brand new server. So in today's video, to try to demonstrate the difference in sound, I'm going to be doing a few things. The first thing I did was keep the camera in the exact same spot with a powered microphone attached to it. The second thing I did, of course, was set the microphone sensitivity level and kept it exactly the same between 2 tests. And since I know that it is extremely difficult to demonstrate how loud something is on camera, I also used my cell phone to run a decibel meter app, which I know is not terribly accurate. However, it's consistent. So at least I can give a general idea of what the difference is, you know, on paper, so to speak. I even used the same app in my server room to see exactly how loud it is right now. Basically just trying to see what kind of difference I would have when I add the server. So before I let you hear what it is before, just note when I power on the server, I do have to turn the alarm off because I don't have all the power supplies plugged in. Also, on initial boots with these servers, when they first power on, they do ramp up the fans very high and they settle down once they get into their operating system. So jumping into the test, this is what the server sounded like before replacing the fans. I know, it's super loud and crazy annoying. 65 to 66 decibels. Definitely a lot higher than I want to deal with in my server room. It's not as high as Zeus was initially, but it is still way too loud for me. Especially because how it is in my server room right now with the same app, I'm running 48 decibels. So jumping from 48 to 65, just can't do that. But thankfully these fans are easy to swap out, so let's take a listen to see what it sounds like with all 6 Noctua 120mm fans. .52, and I suspect that 52 decibels actually comes from the power supply fans more than the Noctua fans. I say that because the power supply fans kind of have this notable high-pitched sound to them that I heard before, but I really didn't hear them over the existing fans that were in there that came stock with the server. But now that the primary fans are so quiet, all I hear is the power supply fans. You see, at first I took the power supply apart and I was like, I definitely want to swap these out for quieter fans if they exist, and somebody told me they do. But then when I took the thing apart, I kind of got scared. I'm like, I don't want to break this or, shock myself. So I kind of chickened out, honestly. But I can barely hear the Noctua fans over the power supply fans. So the 52 decibels that you just heard on camera, it's not even an accurate representation of how much more quiet these fans made my server. Kind of makes me want to upgrade the power supply fans and make them a lot quieter. But either way, there is no question that the stock fans that came with Loki were definitely a lot louder than the Noctua. It's not a big shock to me, but since I'm in the beginning stages of this new build, the first step that I have to tackle is making this thing quiet. Yes, the old fans are 3,000 RPMs and the new fans are only 2,000 RPMs. But the thing is, I've ran Zeus for multiple years without any kind of problems when I dropped down the fans from the high flow default fans that were super loud to the new 2,000 RPMs 140 millimeter fans that I put in it. So thanks again to Noctua for sponsoring this new build. I am excited to see what this final build is going to look like. I'm primarily waiting for the new Threadripper to come out sometime in November, where actually I'm probably going to buy some kind of an Noctua solution to cool the new Threadripper, just kind of depending on what's released at the time. I mean, just something to note here, when I was doing this testing, I unplugged the fans on the CPUs because those were very, very loud. And since that is not the final motherboard slash CPU combo, I don't want to mix those in with the sound just because they're not even going to be there in the finale. And who knows, maybe I'll find an easy way to replace the power supply fans to hopefully bring that decibel rating down just a little bit more. As always, guys, if you want to find out more information about these fans, I will link them in the description down below. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe below, and have yourself a great day.